Welcome back, everyone, to the What's Blessed podcast. My name is Josh.
Go ahead, Ave. Go ahead. He's a new one. Go ahead.
I'm Aven.
AKA what? Go ahead. Hit him with it.
Daddy Magic.
That's
Daddy
right.
Wife.
That's right. I don't have a cool nickname. I'm just Jordan. So.
All right,
Well,
Josh
hold on,
Jordan.
time out.
Hey, JJ, just
What's Josh's cool nickname?
Go ahead, Josh, enlighten the world on what that cool nickname is.
My cool nickname. Good. It depends. A lot of people call me a lot of different things. My wife calls me Babe. My friends call me Josh. And I don't have anything else.
No.
Yes.
You ain't escaping this. Go ahead.
I seriously
don't.
I seriously don't know. You can do it then. I don't know.
You gonna make me do it? Okay.
I guess so. I don't know what you're talking about.
Josh, AKA Papa Meat.
I'm not Papa
Let's
Meat.
do it. Give me a Papa Meat. Papa Meat.
No one has ever in my life called me Papa Meat. So we're gonna.
You're Papa Meat. That was the name that you donned for yourself. I didn't.
Listen, that actually brings us into what I want to talk about first. We watched wrestling this past weekend, and my wrestling name, if I had one, would be Papa Meat. If allowed by the World Wrestling Entertainment industry.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. You let them know. You saw the Royal Rumble.
I did. I did
Saturday.
see it.
You witnessed greatness happen, but also, if you missed the last podcast, or part 3 especially, you'll know why I'm wearing this. You know why I'm wearing this.
I actually don't.
It's a symbolism at its finest.
Pretty sure you got bodied by me and Aven last time, so it's more like
because Jordan's legendary pick of WWE games.
Yeah, the legendary being the worst pick anyone could have possibly made. But we're not talking about that this week, though. That was a little bit of heated debacle.
That's the thing. That's your trash opinion. I don't care about your trash opinion. We care about you on your first time being able, your first time watching WWE. Now that you've watched it, can you appreciate what you saw? Because you witnessed greatness. Go ahead and enlighten everybody on what you saw.
I'll say how y'all said it last week. The product is phenomenal. I had a great time watching the product last week. It was great watching Roman Reigns continue to be the undisputed world champion, the chosen one or the acknowledged one, whatever he calls him, head of the table. He was great. It was
the tribal chief.
The tribal chief. Hey, listen, I'm getting caught up. I'm learning a lot. It was great seeing the Rumble. I'm actually very excited for WrestleMania in a few months. In fact, I think they had a thing on Raw happened on Monday, and then Friday they do a SmackDown or something like that. I'll probably try to watch if I catch it. Like, I'm gonna actually try to keep up with wrestling from now on.
Raw was last night, bro.
Yeah. They announced the matches for WrestleMania, right? At least most of them, anyway.
Yeah. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, and Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I'm not
the
even
next
sure
event. You have Elimination Chamber.
That's what you said. Yeah, February. The Elimination Chamber. Is she?
Charlotte Flair's the greatest woman of all time. What are you talking about?
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's Ric Flair's daughter.
Oh, okay. You mentioned her last time. Never mind. Okay. Yeah. You're a big Ric Flair guy. I love it. The only wrestling going into that weekend that I actually knew about was like very little early 90s wrestling stuff. Like, I knew who The Rock was. Obviously, I knew John Cena. I knew like Stone Cold.
Right.
I knew like Sting and Mysterio.
A wrestling podcast, because I can go.
We'll have to talk about it. It's very fun. It's very fun.
I'm a student of the game.
Oh, for sure. Now, I don't know if the product translates to the games or not, because I've never played any of those new WWE 2K games. But the product itself was pretty phenomenal, I gotta say. I had a really, really good time.
Enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it.
You know what? I think this will be the last thing I say on the topic. It is great. Even though on our last outing as podcast mates, we didn't all necessarily agree eye to eye. But I tell you what, we got joined together by something so beautiful. We were joined together by the Royal Rumble, and I tell you what, that's the greatest gift anyone could have. I mean, look, we had unity. We had unity. It was me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Papa Meat,
I wouldn't say that.
Daddy Magic. We had the kids. We had everybody.
Yeah, go and tell it, Aven. Go and tell it.
I'm about to out you. We weren't in unity. When Cody won the Rumble, you weren't enthused.
Bro, his chest was painted purple, too. He laid his life on the line for that.
I don't know about unity.
Hey, well, it's because I know Cody Rhodes is inevitably, if I know the business, he's inevitably going to dethrone Roman Reigns, and
We'll see.
I
We'll
think
see.
he should.
That's a
I think
tragic.
he should be the one.
I personally, even though
That's
everyone
great.
hated him, I like
Good.
Mysterio's son. He was one of my favorite fighters. Ironically enough, people hate him, dude. I liked him. I like what he was about. Well, because like you can tell there's a good story there because like it's all about storylines. And if it makes a good story, then it's a good product. So, but yeah, enough about wrestling. We'll get like if people want it, we will talk all about wrestling. I'll have know what I'm talking about, but I will talk about or listen to y'all talk about wrestling for over an hour. Today, though, the first thing I'm going to talk
That's
about.
not what today's about. Yeah.
No, it is not. Today is about a little thing I like to call product placement. So this is a little thing we're going to be doing. I don't know how often we're going to bring it up, but like I think that everyone has something that like can be associated with them, whether it's like a soda brand, whether it's like a snack, whether it's maybe something they use every day. Like besides obviously like your phone or your keys or something like that, like quirky things. Like for example, Aven, I know something you love that I also love, but I think you definitely associate with more than I do. Well, go ahead, show it to the people. There it is. A late one, baby. Nothing better.
The drink of the bluegrass state.
Amen. Good old Kentucky boys drinking their A-lates. Because it's like I don't like ginger ale. I really don't like ginger ale. But something about the A-late being ginger ale with like the little like citrus, it's like addicting. It's like it's also like refreshing. Like there's two things I want if I'm like dehydrated. I want an A-late or I want like a specifically orange Gatorade. Like it just hits different. Like I love it. What are you moving to? Look at your. What do you mean, bro? After
it's like every time I talk to you, it's like every time I talk to you, it's like this new bit of information comes to light, and it's just such like.
You called it a meme last time. That's not a meme, bro.
Yeah,
go out in the fields. Go out in the fields. Go out, do a hard day's work. Come back in and enjoy like a nice either A-late or like
specific. Gatorade.
You could have picked any color.
Well, the reason,
orange.
Listen, because when I was a kid, I used to help my dad out in the cemetery he worked at. I'd like blow the stones with like a big blower or whatever, make it look nice, and then we would go to Thornton's and we would get like they have the nugget ice, and we would get I would get orange Gatorade because it's for me it's the most refreshing. Like it may not taste the best, but it's the most like refreshing. The fountain.
So you're not.
Fountain Gatorade's better than bottled Gatorade. Fountain Gatorade is by far the best.
Now, so it wasn't enough to just have it in a bottle. You had to have it fountain too.
Well, fountain is better. Fountain's always better. Name one drink that's better bottled than in the fountain. Well, okay. A-late is the difference. A-late is bottled. A-late is gonna is the best.
A-late isn't really fountain.
You can I went to a cookout in like Lexington. I'm pretty sure they have it there. Like it's not as common, but you can find it in fountains. But like it's not as good. Like I don't know why, but the bottled A-late, like the glass bottle, is like the best like version of it. Like the can is just not the same. It's not. Fountain's not the same. Like glass canned A-late.
Plastic bottle sucks.
Plastic bottle also sucks. It's specifically glass bottle.
Wait. I need some education on it then. So like I thought the whole point of the fountain drinks was because of like the CO2 tanks and it was like more carbonated or had a certain percentage of carbonation that the cans and bottles didn't have. But Gatorade is not a carbonated beverage, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, it's the same thing with pink lemonade though.
Yeah.
So what's the difference
pink lemonade's
between a
on pretty much
Gatorade and a bottled Gatorade? Isn't it the same thing, or like am I tripping? Like what makes it better?
No,
I couldn't tell it makes it better. It's just different. It's like McDonald's High C Orange was like the best version of it. Like it wasn't the same in the little like containers you get. Like the fountain version was like the best version. What are you looking at me funny for? Tell me you don't like High C Orange. Also, my dog's going off.
Actually, I will give him that. There is a rave about the McDonald's High C.
So good.
Like I mean, I personally don't like High C, but I do know
UPS. We'd always have that on the
wall. All right, well. Aven's big product is A-late.
Now, Jordan, let's move on to Jordan's product real quick. It's also, I believe, a beverage. Is that right?
Well, I'd say so. I mean, I feel like a lot of things. Yeah, really a company. I think a lot of my stuff, though. Well, I mean, I think over the years it's kind of evolved a little bit. It went from Dr. Pepper to. Or actually, I'm sorry, I went from Mountain Dew.
It was Mountain Dew. Like specifically the weird. I don't know which one was your favorite, but when I was a kid, you always had like the wild flavors of Mountain Dew in your fridge, like the blue voltage and crap like that.
Well, yeah, but now it's evolved. Now it's evolved to scooting on around. We scoot on around to
Oh
scooters.
man, people who don't
And
live
it's
in a
every
little
day.
area don't know what they're
Hey,
missing
how
out on.
can I help you today?
So good. Like I don't think it's
Some
anywhere
people
outside
like
of Louisville.
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
This is not me.
It's really the same thing with 808. That's only in surrounding states.
That's true. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I've never seen one outside of Louisville. If there is one, like y'all better enjoy it. It's such a good coffee-based drink. And
Well,
mine.
they do. They have.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's fine, dude. Go ahead. Let's go into because
I was gonna
honestly,
say-
I can't even wait to unpack what you're about to say. Go ahead.
So my product, not only is it not a beverage, and not only is it not, you can find this anywhere. And you can find this in South Africa. I learned over the past few years. It is a nice old can of. Oh, I got spray on. I got spray on the floor. Vienna sausage. It is like I can't explain why. It's like crack to me. It's like my favorite. Like if a product is associated with me, it's these things. Like you could ask anyone from college, high school, like my own parents, like my wife. Like this is like I don't eat it every day because I think if I did, I would die. But like this is I think the product most associated with me. And yeah, I think anyone who knows, you can probably smell it from the camera here. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna do something that like is gonna gross a lot of people out.
Disgusting.
That's not. No, they're delicious.
Oh, no.
Like, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. I know
Put
for
it
a fact
away.
I'm not.
I'm
gonna put it away, right? I'm gonna do what I did in college to freak people out. I'm
No.
going. That's what I call.
Oh.
It's what I like to call shotgunning. It sounded.
Oh, stop.
Just suck it back. Just suck it back.
No.
So good.
No.
Oh,
No.
And then otherwise, that's just to freak people out. It's a little party trick.
Flag.
Like
Flag.
No
Please,
flag. No flag.
No, stop.
Mm.
No. Challenge flag, please. No, stop.
I'm done. I put it away. But no, like seriously, those things are so freaking good. I don't know what it is. Like if it's like the vinegar, not vinegar, whatever liquid they have.
And he didn't want to be called Papa Meat.
I am now.
Sucking down meat. Talking about, I ain't Papa Meat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bro, I don't care what y'all say.
You know damn good and well what we're talking about.
And the thing about Vienna sausages is it's only the blue Armor cans that are good. Like if you get any other like brand of them, like they're usually like Armor's like the main brand. There's like super cheap ones you can get from like dollar stores and stuff. They're not the same. They're like bad products. This is awesome though. And if it wasn't this, if it wasn't Armor, Vienna sauce, it'd probably just be like any brand bologna because that's also like my identity basically. But yeah, so product placement is just a little thing we like to talk about. We'll probably bring it up again in the future once we have other things we can think of. But like those things are like
that's a challenge. That's a challenge right there for me and Jordan. The losers got to down a thing of Vienna sausages.
That should absolutely be a thing. It's so good. That should be for me. It's a vacation. For y'all, it's a work chore apparently. But now, down in the comments if you're watching this, go and let us know what your product placement is. What is one thing that is associated with who you are that's like either unique or it can be like Coke or something like that, but something like you either drink or eat every day or every other day, or people think of it when they think of you. So, speaking of what you're drinking, your Prime there. That's another thing I see you drinking all the time. You have like 3 cases at home of that Prime. Official drink of the UFC. Congratulations, Logan Paul and KSI.
Get him. Yeah, we'll look at him trying to get the prime rub. Look at him.
Yeah. Put it very closely in the...
Hey, look, man, I'm not opposed to anybody. Look, I say we tag Prime, we tag Scooter's Coffee, we tag whatever the fuck that Vienna sausage
Armor, come on, dude.
we tag some Ale.
I will absolutely take like a year's supply of Vienna sausages.
It does. It provides armor for your intestines.
I don't need to keep talking about
probably over the years.
I know this is turning into a meat fest real fast.
Hey, nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with that. But let's move on to the next thing.
There's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So this segment this was Aven's baby. This is Aven's idea for today's podcast. We threw around a couple things we could talk about. Last week we did tier list. Probably if we do it again in the future, going to be a much smaller tier list we do because that took 3 hours. But we're going to have some bro talk today.
I'm credited today.
Hey,
look at that.
You are. Brought to you by Aven, Bro Talk. Basically, it's just going to be us telling stories for the next 40, 30 minutes. I think all of us have at least one story to tell, and it should take up most of the time we have left. If any of you just really want to go, we can go, but just any story. It doesn't have to be, it can be serious, it can be funny. Like, we're just here to have a good time, talk about our lives.
Wow, I was totally unprepared for this. Well, you know what? I'm going to just pass it off to you. And
all right, fine. I'll go first. Then. All right.
I was busy this morning. Anyway.
All right. So I am going to be talking about a story from college. I went to Knoxville, Tennessee for 5 years for college, a little place called Johnson University. And I had a wild time. I had a really fun time. Met a lot of lifelong friends there. The one story I could tell like 5 stories, specifically from freshman year. um, I'm
future
going.
episodes, bro.
Oh, trust me, there's plenty to talk about with that. But what it is going to be talking about today. Sorry, I got thrown off for a second there. When I was 18 years old, I worked at an Arby's in Knoxville because my freshman year I decided I wanted to try to pay off my
Papa
college
Meat.
while attending. Papa Meat once again. Hey, they got the meats. They got the meats. I was there for the meats. I didn't realize we're gonna be talking like the nickname thing would be discussed today. So that's actually really funny that Papa Meat's very applicable to everything we're talking about today. But so I worked at Arby's. I worked there 40 hours a week, like full-time hours, trying to put full-time college and school in. Or sorry, it's full-time college and work in. By the way, don't do that. Unless you are like a maniac and have no social life or you don't care about sleeping, I'd recommend not doing that because I not only was sleep deprived, I also made a lot of mistakes that year and I didn't do well in school that year, to be honest. So I don't recommend doing that. I did it, and I was able to pay for my freshman year by working, but the rest of the year I just took loans because like it was not worth it. It's not worth the time. You don't have to do anything else. But the reason I'm bringing Arby's up is because there was a girl there that I met, and I'm not going to give her name away. She was a beautiful redhead.
Oh no!
You see,
Here we go.
Aven does not know.
No.
Aven does not
Is your
know.
wife gonna be watching?
If she does, I told her the story before. She knows about the story.
Are we about to hear about Papa Meat laying meat?
No, there was no laying of meat down. There was
Oh man!
ironically, the hottest it got was making out in the freezer at Arby's. Yeah. I was a wild child back then. I know. That's not the point of the story.
Wild.
But so I worked at Arby's, met this
I
girl.
get it. Yeah, the roast beef. You're making out with her. Hands all over the roast beef.
No, there were no hands on the roast beef.
What's going on right now, dude?
It was all clean. We were wearing
What
gloves.
was in the freezer?
Boxes of fries, actually.
Y'all were making out with gloves on?
No, we were making. That was a little funny. We weren't making out with gloves on. But I advise everyone, obviously, use protection of any kind. But the point of the story, or not the point of the story, to continue telling the story. So we were at first just flirting or whatever, and I was 18. I had no idea, whenever I was also getting out of the prime of my fitness life, like junior year of college. I was super fit. I was pretty in shape because of football. Senior year to most through college, I got to put some pounds on because I didn't eat when I wasn't working out the same way I used to be. So I don't know why anyone would even be attracted to me at that point. But so I was working, we were flirting or whatever, and she was not a bad looking woman at all. Like I say woman because I was 18.
You're not a bad looking man, Papa.
Hey, appreciate that, my boy. Appreciate
Come on,
that. You're pretty good looking yourself.
Stroke
Everyone
the
here
beard
looks
for us
good.
one time. Stroke it. Hit us with the beard stroke. All right. Hit us with the beard stroke.
I did.
AKA Mr. Stay Ready. Papa Meat in the freezer, dude. Look at you.
Yep. It was good times. Obviously, I like where I'm at right now in life. But the main takeaway from that was she was 26 and she had a child, and I was 18, and I did all the red flags you could throw at me just went like over the head. Like I couldn't see red flags. I was wearing
that's the dude
red
among
glasses
dudes right there.
Milf Hunter Josh.
MILF Hunter. I mean, back then, you could call me that. So things got serious. Obviously, like I was, very attracted to her, but she also even though they weren't together, she did have a baby daddy involved in some way, obviously. So it was just like red flags out the asshole. It was just a very bad situation. I shouldn't have even been involved, really. But I couldn't help myself because I was 18. Yeah, go ahead.
No, wait. Here's a question. So,
All right.
I mean, since we're in the topic, these are just questions, and I feel like maybe viewers would be intrigued to listen to it. Look, here's the questions that I think they want to know. Like, why? What about her having a baby daddy involved in some capacity is a red flag? I mean, she has a kid. Obviously, the kid has a dad. Like, what's red flag about it?
Well, because
what's going on here?
Well, once again, let's go back to the fact that I was 18. There was an 8-year difference there, and I was solely unprepared for that kind of life. Although I was preparing myself already at 18 for that kind of life because I was like head over heels or
You
whatever.
were just trying to lay it down. You weren't trying to be stepdad.
Yeah, I mean, like, you didn't have to be the stepdad. You could have just been there to, pop a meat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I think y'all know me well enough at this point. Like, once I romantically get involved in any kind of way, I'm not stopping. I'm going like as far as I can. Like, I'm just like that kind of person. Like, it's whether it's good or bad.
My
Typically,
brother.
yeah, it's like a train that can't be stopped. But so my friends obviously saw this and they were like, "You were 18. This is your first
What
year
are
in
you
college.
talking
You probably shouldn't be involved in something like that." So I had a legitimate intervention, like with my friends at college, telling me this is probably not a good idea for you to be involved in. And like I first didn't listen.
hell
I was
no.
still head over heels. I like how y'all are on the opposite side of my friends back then. Where they were like, we want to see the best for you. Where y'all like, oh, you just go for it, F it, whatever.
What do
like,
you mean?
No,
It sounded like
listen.
it sounded like your
Listen.
friends didn't want to see Papa Meat become Papa Meat. That's what it sounded like.
Hold on. I mean, I understand what they're trying to say, but I mean, it's about what you wanted.
Oh no, no.
Obviously, you wanted something. You was out here, hands all in the roast beef, making out in the freezer. You wanted something.
I mean, obviously, I wanted something, but I didn't want the right things. Obviously, like I'm a married man now. I probably wouldn't be if I went that direction. So I'm glad I didn't go that direction ultimately, because I think my friends were right at the time. Although obviously didn't see it, and so I continued to win through it. And I got my heart broken because she ended up obviously with the other guy, the baby daddy. As you would put it. And
wait, hold on. Rewind. See, that's what I'm saying. This is where the pieces aren't adding up. Okay, look. Okay, look here. Hear me out. So you had the intervention.
He wasn't just a baby daddy. He was a boyfriend.
Okay, well,
For starters, he wasn't.
Well, that's where the intervention came in because
what are you talking about?
He was a baby daddy. He wasn't like with her, but because they obviously had done stuff before, like there's something there, like so.
What do you mean she chose him? That means she was already.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Rewind, brother. You said your friends from college bring you into a room. You're walking in. They're all sitting around in a Socratic circle. Joshua, we have to have a talk.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it translates to you not breaking her heart, but she's breaking your heart, even though they're the ones who had an intervention with you to break it off with her. So how did you end up heartbroken out of the deal?
Because they were right. Because I should have realized, if she still has a baby daddy, they have a baby together. She's like, 26, way older than me. Obviously, if he is in the situation still, there's a chance she's gonna choose him over me.
So
that's
wait, hold on.
So you knew.
I think we have a fundamental issue with me and Jordan.
Yeah.
I think we're going in with the mindset that you were just trying to hit it. You had this idea that you were going to date her.
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier, because I'm like, especially with my personality, I'm not someone who's going to want to hit and quit anything. If I'm with someone, or like, even if it's just like...
Well, then that's bad.
Yes, that's the whole point of the intervention. They were like, this is a bad idea. You're going down a bad way. You're going to get your heart broken, or worse, you might end up actually having a kid with her.
I think that they were right.
Yeah,
in the sense that you were after a relationship when you shouldn't have been. But I definitely
the other guy popping
in there and went the Arby's route. You got the meat.
Either way,
you know what? Here's my question. How long? Like, what was the time span between this romantic relationship you had? I mean, so we started working at Arby's. Did we hang out any? 3 months. So 3 months, you all were touching meat inside the in the freezer.
Yeah, but we weren't touching. Come on, now we weren't touching meat in the freezer. Come on.
What? Look, where do they store the meat at?
The meat's
in the freezer. My whole point. Thank you.
Why are you asking about Arby's layout?
I'm trying to tell a story about a young Josh and his romantic relationship. You're focused on the meat in the Arby's freezer. You're focused on the wrong things, my brother.
I'm more concerned about the public safety of these people who ate your food while you were making out.
It was Knoxville, Tennessee. No one gave a crap about hygiene.
Match on the Arby's meat.
No one gave a crap.
I mean, like, you had the brisket, the roast beef.
What was the health grade?
Oh, it was like an A. It was like we always kept it clean. Y'all, okay, so I don't know how many of you have worked fast food. You have no idea how often this kind of stuff happens. Like this, like it's a very common occurrence for people to be making out in the freezer section or whatever. It's very common.
You know what? You know what? Okay, I'm gonna take the heat off of you. I'll go ahead. And actually, he's right. This segues into a story because I used to work
Oh, the
food
story
service
wasn't
as
finished.
well. I think. Oh, you
Okay,
know what?
Steve.
Go ahead and share your happy ending because I think
Oh.
there's got to be something happy that comes out of this. Please
So,
tell
so after I
me.
got my heart broken, I filled the hole in my heart by I was addicted at the time to the little, those little chocolate Hostess donuts. I would eat maybe like two,
What
3
is
bags a
happening
week.
right now?
I was heartbroken, and whenever I used to be a sad little dumpy boy, I would fill the hole in my heart with chocolate donuts, which got to a point where my friends were once again worried that I just was overeating and so I had a second intervention about the donut thing. They literally threw out my donuts out the window, and we lived on the second floor at the time. That's a true story, by the way. So I had 2 interventions in college. One was for a girl I shouldn't have been with. The second was my overeating of chocolate Hostess donuts. And that's my story.
Do you consume Hostess donuts today?
No, I'm a diabetic, so no, and not in a very long time. I do.
Well, hold on. Now, hold on a minute. So how come you decided to go with the Vienna sausages? So did you replace the donuts with Vienna
No,
sausages? And
see,
there was no
Vienna
intervention
sausages
about
have
that?
always, like I said, they've always been there since I was a kid. That's what we've been eating. Like I've been eating them since I was like 6 years old. So they've always been a constant in my life.
So your friends, I mean, I can only imagine who they are.
Oh.
I've heard names before.
Oh, they hate
like,
them.
No
Dude.
one thought that, hey, Josh needs to slow down on them donuts, but he can keep consuming the meat all day long.
You can
he can
ask
suck them bitches at the can.
Literally
he can suck
ask
them dry, actually. And
ask
that's cool.
any person who's been to a dorm room of mine in college. They'll tell you I was asked to leave rooms sometimes because of the smell. Like they did not like me eating those at all. But it was like
when he said when I got my heart broken and I was addicted, I thought that was gonna go in a completely different direction.
Well, no, what? Like
Started
drugs?
talking about
No.
donuts.
I went in college. I didn't do drugs. I didn't drink. I ate donuts, and had my heart broken. Is what I did in college.
No, yeah, I mean, he's addicted, not to drugs, not to drinking, not to gambling, not to porn, but I'm addicted to donuts.
I dude. Like I said, there's a reason I'm diabetic now.
Well, not
Probably
anymore,
because of them damn donuts.
Broken it. He's broken the cycle, dude.
I did break. Hey, I did break the cycle. That is
donuts.
true. I did step away from the
Okay,
donuts.
so now the question, now the world needs to know, and I need to know, and I think Aven needs to know. You need to know, actually. The whole world is asking. How long have you been sober off the donuts?
Let's see. When's the last time I had like a thing of Hostess donuts? Because we don't buy them in our house. Probably like since I lived at when I lived at mom and dad's house, which is like 2019. It's like 3 years.
So you went back. You went back to it.
Man.
I mean, I didn't go back to it. I had them occasionally. I would say I went back.
4 years clean.
Okay, yeah.
You
let's
had a
put
problem.
4.
Then you went back to the problem.
All right.
Are you still troubled today?
No, I'm not troubled today.
Have you switched to powdered? Have you switched to powder?
Imagine like a white powder, like mustache. Like I don't have a problem. No, actually, I hate powdered donuts.
Oh, so you weren't okay. So you. So what are you saying? Are you saying you are prejudiced against the donuts, or you eat donuts like without prejudice? You eat any flavor, it doesn't matter.
I don't eat donuts period anymore. For one, because I have not severe diabetes, bad diabetes, not very good.
Actually, I don't eat donuts either.
Yeah, hey, ask Jordan though. When we lived in the apartment, we got donuts like decently often, like King's Donuts over there by New Cut Road. Oh my gosh, like so good.
Wait a minute. So you do eat donuts?
Okay,
no. He's saying like as of recent, as of like 2020 to present, he does.
Yeah, exactly. I like them, but I haven't had them in a while.
Okay.
Anyway, though, that's enough about me. I want to hear Jordan's story that he was about to derail into.
Yeah. So I can actually talk on 2 points. So Josh isn't alone in his donut behavior and in his donut journey. He's not alone. Once upon a time, Aven, I think you know quite well, there was a time, I'd go to Krispy Kreme like once every 2 weeks, it was bad. Every time a promotional donut was out, my ass was there. Didn't matter. Gross. There'd be times, I don't know if you recall, I don't know if it was with you or if it was with someone else, but we got a dozen of donuts and I had all 12 in one sitting. And I know that was foul. I know you be looking at me in disgust. I can't see your face, Josh, but I know you're probably looking in serious disgust right now.
Oh, no, I'm not disgusted. I'm eating
maybe
more Vienna sausage.
You're gross as fuck, man.
And I was gonna say, like,
Sugar on its own.
somehow I end up with diabetes, even though Jordan consumes like twice, maybe 3 times the amount of sugar I do in a lifetime. Like,
He does.
it's
I
crazy.
live with
Dude.
it.
It's so crazy.
I will say that my caffeine and sugar consumption is a little alarming. And it's actually kind of crazy because I've been told my entire life that our family diabetes runs pretty thick, runs pretty thick in our family. It's like I think like we have like double the risk of getting diabetes at some point. But the real story I had though, segueing into your food service industry, you said that it happens way more often than what you think.
Oh yeah.
Mine is also in relation to the walk-in freezer. There's a lot of things that I was
so all of a sudden,
to as a kid
so it's okay with you to do it.
No, no, time out, player. You didn't even hear my story.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
All right, look. So, food service industry, I made a couple of companions. I had a couple of people I thought were friends, and you quickly learn, especially in those industries, that those brothers ain't your friends at all. Basically, you're only as good for as long as you're providing for them or benefiting them in some kind of way. And maybe I'm not going to name drop, but I think you've met him, Josh. You know what? He's not watching. A brother named Terrence. I mean, nobody knows his last name. It don't matter.
Story.
His last name's not relevant.
I'm also involved in the Terrence story. I
Terrence, man.
this.
But there's a whole plethora of people I've worked with. There was Terrence. There was a Michael. There was a Jason.
There
was actually a Kevin. So anyway, so my point is, I didn't know that drugs ran as rampant as they did in the restaurant industry. Of course, I was younger, 16, between the ages of 16 and 20. And I remember I walked in, I was working at this restaurant down on Frankfurt Avenue. And obviously I'm not going to try to give you all a bad rap. But so I went in to walk in and I see the guy they just hired. I mean, he was like second day. First of all, the brother already came in late anyway. Like he was working. So we had 3 stations. We had the grill, the fry, or they called it the middle, which was just fried appetizers. And then they had the saute station, which manned the oven and the saute, like the vegetables for the primary proteins that came out of the oven. So his brother, second day, already comes in late. He was like 35 minutes late. Obviously, he was intoxicated. I walk in to get a bag of onions. I see this dude doing lines of cocaine off of the thing. And I was just like, dude, what am I witnessing right now? And he looked over. He's like, look, man, I'll give you a bump right now if you just don't tell nobody. And of course, me, I'm like, well, I can't do that. There's a lot of stuff that was going through my head at that point in time. Look at you, thinking I'm guilty. Look, I didn't partake in anything that was suspect, especially at that. Now, I sense a little bit of animosity towards me right now.
What are you talking about?
Do you hate me?
I'm just listening to your story. Come on. You're ridiculous. Go ahead. Tell
it. Anyway, so yeah, to your point, there is a lot of wild stuff that happens in the walk-in, but that isn't like the only walk-in experience I've had where things have been little wild. At another restaurant I worked at that's no longer around anymore, it was called Rue. Then their walk-in, I witnessed someone getting just absolutely pounded in the walk-in. I turned right back around and said, I'm going home, took the apron off, gave it to Buddy, said I'm clocking out because we had 2 dishwashers, and I went home. I was a scarred man that day. You know what it's like seeing 2 people that, are kind of gross, get that swamp thing going. That's a little nasty.
Oh, man.
It's one thing when you're looking for it, but it's another thing when it's unexpected. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You're just, my heart, my eyeballs, my soul wasn't ready for the things I was going to see. Now, obviously, my story isn't as heartfelt as yours, Josh. Mine's just about some things I saw in the industry that I didn't want to see. Anyway, I'm going to kick it off to Aven.
All right.
Well, I also work in food industry, but I'm not going to bring up food industry stories today. I think I'm going to talk
I'm sure we all could have like a plethora of those.
Amen,
we'll have to do that sometime.
I work a little bit of information about me. I also worked in food for 3 years. I have plenty of experiences and stories from there as well, but I'll get into that on another day. But my story is going to be about when I was a younger man, 7th, 8th grade, I think.
Young man.
And
young man.
So I had an unnamed buddy. We'll call him just
I like
Buddy.
how you and me are like. I like how you and me are like. We're gonna keep the people involved in this. Like, we're not gonna name their names. George's like, yeah, there was
I'm
Terrence,
pretty
there was
sure
Kevin, there was.
Yeah. But like, I didn't reveal their last names or nothing. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, how many Kevins there are in the world? Come on now.
I'm just gonna say Buddy. Okay,
I like the Buddy.
It's Buddy. So me and Buddy were friends throughout grade school. We're real good friends. We played sports together. We hung out together. So he was the main friend I would spend the night with. Like, right, like,
Yeah.
we all had that buddy. We'd have our sleepovers, whatever you want to call them. He was my buddy. So I'd be over his house, once every week, once every 2 weeks, and so you're getting to that age, right? You're getting to teenage.
Oh, man, this is
teenage.
all our
teenage
stories
years.
included like.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
And well, hold on.
I included meat in some capacity.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Well, so he lived. His room was like upstairs. Okay, and I would sleep on the floor. I wasn't about that life. I wasn't real into sleeping in the same bed. I just wasn't about that.
Yeah,
but,
you
We never slept in the same bed.
Right.
Yeah, a sleeping bag or the couch. Yeah.
But so
or give your friend a cum-covered blanket.
So hold on. Oh, okay, we'll get into that another time.
That's another story for another day.
We got plenty of them. So.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, we get to those teenage years where we start exploring our bodies.
Yeah.
And so this is around the time Grand Theft Auto 5 came out.
Ooh,
all right.
What a good game. What a good fun game. It's such a good game.
They have the strip clubs, right? And in Grand Theft Auto 5, they show the titties.
Oh man, those sweet polygons and pixels. Yep.
Oh, we're like 7th, 8th grade, so
that's harmless.
We're like, oh yeah, titties.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Well, my bud, for some reason he thought it was. For some reason he thought it was cool to.
Cool.
Am I allowed to say
whatever you want
on here?
Yeah.
What, I mean,
he decided to pleasure himself.
Imagine you masturbated, yeah.
Pleasure.
This is bro talk.
Oh yeah, I see it now. See, pulled out the one-eyed snake.
Now, was he covertly doing it, or was it like in front of God and everyone?
No, dude. He showed Aven he had a tripod. 100%.
No, I've never seen his meat.
All right.
Oh, okay. No reported meat sightings. Let's keep going.
Never seen his meat. But that's another thing. Every time I went over there for like 2 months, he had this idea that we were gonna beat off together. But going back to
a little bit of bro beat off time.
He decided to touch himself, and I was,
yeah.
Come on, man.
But that's when I was first asked, like, why don't you just beat
off? Why don't you do it too? Yeah, we're all dudes here.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom because I'm not doing that in front of another dude.
Wait, did you go to the bathroom?
Hold on a minute.
Leave yourself?
So you went to the bathroom to misbehave.
Well, that's what I told him.
Okay.
Oh, so you didn't actually misbehave.
Well, eventually I did. Like after weeks. I mean, dude, there were days I'd go over there and dudes would like actually have porn like playing.
See, that's wild to me. That's I think Jordan had a similar story.
Like, and he would
that's wild to me.
It would he would wait for his parents to go to sleep, and he'd be like, "All right, it's time to watch porn," and he'd get under his blankets, and he would try to watch porn.
That's wild.
Well, no, he wouldn't try. He would do it. And I would always be like, I'm not doing that in the same room with you.
Yeah.
So they had an office across the hall, and they had a bathroom. So eventually I caved, and I was like, well, I'm just going to beat off too. Well, why not? No one's going to know.
Yeah, all the cool kids
but
are doing it.
It's just, I never did it in the same room as him, but it's just a little... I don't know.
So
I haven't talked to him in years, but
so what's the conclusion here? I mean, how's Buddy doing today? Does he still suffer with chronic masturbation
I
issues
haven't
with his
spoken to him in
buddies?
years.
He's
Wow.
probably dead.
You know what though? I don't know what it is with dudes. And now I know I'm
Just
not
straight
alone
pulling it
now.
out.
Well, no, yeah. I
Well,
mean, it's like they want to show they got a tripod or something, and they can't
Some
contain
people are
themselves,
just
and
into
they want
that.
you to
It's so
join
weird.
in
It's
on
like
it.
it's like what's the dude's name? Used to be
I'm
like
gonna cough it up to we were young teenagers, and he thought it was all right.
But you know what's crazy? It's like I can't even like be mad about it because it's like I've been in the same situation with 4 other people,
no.
like different
Same
people.
time.
See, I've
No,
always
no,
been
no,
ashamed
no.
of it. I don't know why. I think I've always like wanted to be as private as possible about it. I feel awkward even seeing nudity
We know who
in
doesn't
public.
have a tripod.
Whoa.
Well, I wasn't ever like discreet about it. I mean, like obviously, if anyone says they don't do it, they're lying about it, right? I mean, like everyone's had that experience at some point or
Yeah.
another. But I mean, the thing is, I just thought it was really weird that people just wanted to engage in that kind of behavior
Around
with,
other people.
like with their buddy and just be so open. Like I'm open about the fact that I partake in that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
but not
open
like
about
you're
the
not like
fact
gonna whip
that,
it out and like
or I'm not.
like,
Well, I don't
can't,
actually
like-
don't gotta be open. I'm just not doing that. Period. In the presence of other people, unless it's like a romantic partner, right? Like otherwise, like I don't really see why you should be. It's called me time for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. That reminds me though, like since we're talking about bro talk right now, what like without being weird about it, what was y'all's first time like seeing like not public nudity, but like what was y'all's first time like either way, whether it be a movie or a video game where you saw it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Like I know for me, there's like 2
Oh,
examples.
I got you. It's
Yeah?
a movie. It's a movie called Beer Fest.
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest, yeah. I don't remember shit about what the movie was about, but like back in the day, they had Blockbuster.
Yep.
My dad got this movie called Beer Fest, and I can't remember if my mom watched it or not, but basically it's like if I can remember right, it was a lot of titty scenes. I know I took the DVD. I took that boy all the way upstairs in my room at the time. It was just pausing it on them scenes. I was ready. I was exposed. I was ready to go. But yeah, I think what it was about though was about it was like a I don't know if it was like an international drinking competition where they had teams from like Belgium, Germany, other respective countries were basically having like they had like a team, and I guess the whole point was to shotgun as many beers like going down the line. And
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I could be off about that storyline. It's been a long time. Obviously, I didn't care about the movie. I cared about the puppies. But whatever. Hey, what about y'all though?
So my first one that I vividly remember, like, oh, there's like nudity, like, or there's nakedness in this. I kind of like it. It was Dukes of Hazzard. It was it was a scene where they went into like the girls' college or dorm or whatever, and you saw they were all there, like hanging out, like woo, like dancing and stuff like that. I remember as me and my friend Zach back in elementary school, and we were like, oh, what's that about? What's that about? I heard there was no paw on herself, but
Yeah,
we saw
what was
it.
it
It was
about?
like, dude, the movie.
What'd you see?
I told you what I saw. I saw like the scene where they're in the college dorm and all the girls are there. They all take their shirts off. It's like, whoa.
Damn.
But besides the scene, the movie's a great movie. Like it's a really funny movie. And then the second one is the God of War. I remember if it was 1 or 2, but it was the scene where like there's 2 girls in the bed and Kratos is like, get over here, whatever he says, and he's like just and you have the quick the time to push.
I know
you
exactly
literally
what you're
push the square
about.
button like to the rhythm or whatever. Like
Yeah, yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, pretty great.
It was heat. Hey, dude, like tell me though. So like, what was going through your head when you saw that for the first time? Like when you saw the nudity and that Dukes of Hazzard, like what was you thinking? Like was you like, damn, or was you just
that's
like,
pretty
wow,
crazy.
like I'm nervous? Or...
No, there was definitely a lot of like a nervousness because I don't know like my parents never had like a talk with me. I don't know if y'all did or not. Yeah, because I was like I shouldn't be. I feel like I was like I shouldn't be watching this. Like, cause there's like adult like or whatever. Obviously, like looking back, it's like, oh, that was my first like time like processing what was going on or whatever. Like, cause
whose idea was it?
Oh, it was his. He was his
Oh,
parents.
yes,
It was his house. Like, I don't know if he'd known it was there either. Like, we watched the whole movie. Like, his parents let us watch the movie, so I don't think they even realized there was a scene in there.
Yeah, well, how did how did he handle it compared to you though? I mean,
I
was
don't
he
know. I
cool
have no
about it?
idea.
I mean, like,
Well,
could
we
you
didn't.
tell he was an experienced veteran of seeing nudity, or
I'm pretty sure at that point, like he may have been actually asleep because I remember I was sleeping on the couch. He was sleeping on the floor with the like you said earlier, like a sleeping bag.
Oh, so the truth's gonna come out. The
No,
truth's were coming out. You got a stiffy while your buddy was asleep.
I don't remember.
I get it.
I don't remember how I felt about it. Like
that's why you ask questions.
yeah, like, I do remember
I don't know how
nothing
I felt
happened that
about it.
night. Obviously, nothing weird happened that night. I do remember at some point
Yeah,
there was y'all. Did y'all watch Robot Chicken growing up?
I did.
So there was a Robot Chicken episode where they talked about masturbation. I remember going to my sister and her friend while we were like walking around the cemetery because I grew up in a cemetery, and I was like, "What's masturbation?" And they were both like laughing their asses off. They had no idea what to say. They're like, "Oh, ask mom." And I remember when she said that, I was like, "I think I shouldn't ask her," so I never did.
I got a similar thing
Yeah.
with me and Jordan.
Oh yeah.
When I was
oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
when I was younger, I think it was a fourth grade when you're supposed to have the school talk.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
I think
Go ahead.
it was fourth or fifth when the school actually has like a group with they take the boys and the girls in another room and they talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But every kid knows before that because they all talk to each other. So I don't remember the first time I was introduced to any nudity, but I do remember this story when we were talking about it and they told, I think it was like a week before we have the talk at school, they told us to like ask our parents or whatever about it so they can explain it to us 1st.
Mm-hmm.
But I already knew about it. But for like the whole 6 months before I even was preparing for this talk,
Yeah.
Jordan would like keep needling me about beating off.
Yeah.
Jordan would like talk about it all the time. And I would always play stupid, but I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I knew the whole time what it was. But so I go outside and I ask mom like what's masturbation or whatever, and she was like, where'd you hear that? And I pinned it all on Jordan.
Threw him under the
I
bus.
pinned it
I
all
love
on
it.
Jordan.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't remember if she ever talked to me about it or not, but I do recall talking to him about it, like, because I was always like, "There's no way that dude doesn't do that." Like in my mind,
I was in like fourth grade.
Like, but then what's crazy is like whenever he was telling me about, you know what? That's not relevant. We're not even talk about that.
Redacted. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh wow, about to get real wild.
Gee whiz. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that.
Oh man, there's Ayla again. Love seeing that. All right. Well, hey guys, if y'all want to hear more of us talk about just our lives or about this specific subject, because honestly, like I don't think a lot of dudes like talk about this enough. Like not raising awareness. Obviously, we're all aware of it, but like just like some people feel awkward about it. We shouldn't, because it's like a nature thing. So if you want to hear more about that specific talk, let us know. If y'all want to hear other topics,
brother Jordan. From what I hear, Jordan can out you.
Wait, what?
Wait, what's up?
What's then?
No, I just we could have a lot of fun if you just wanted to keep talking about it, because I got so many stories about Jordan.
Oh no! I think like
Dude,
the three of us have plenty of stories about each other. Because I have stories about Jordan
We were supposed
too.
to play Pokemon.
Oh boy!
We were supposed to play Pokemon one night.
Like scheduled
this dude
Pokemon.
Texted me to come because he lived in the basement. I lived. Well, his let's say a female was over. Right. And I lived upstairs. He lived in the basement. So he texted me that this woman was leaving. Right. So I was in the middle of like a YouTube video. So I was like, okay, I'll go down there when my YouTube video's over. So I don't know how long it was, but I waited for the video to end. And I go downstairs, and she ain't gone. She's naked, and they're about to get it on. So I got my laptop, and I was like, "Oh wow!" So I turned into the basement. I got a water bottle, and I went upstairs.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah,
man,
I was. I guess I was partaking in the flying squirrel. I guess.
Yeah, that's what you want to call it. But hey, we'll have plenty of stories like that in the future for years. Anything else you want to hear us talk about? We'll talk about literally anything we know about. with the exception, of course, being like politics, anything that just brings us down. We're here to have a good time, like today. So, but next time on the What's Blessed podcast, we'll be talking about something. But thank y'all so much for watching. Stay blessed. See y'all next time.